Way like Jeff Gordon's, his rear tires is gone. We're still about 30 laps from pit stop.
Schrader pounded the wall on the front straightaway. Caution is out.
Caution is out.
That car hit the wall about 150 feet before the start-finish line, and then just went into a series of spins and ended up with the right front trashed on the Schwann's home service 49. Kenny's all right. He's dropped the window net. Let's see what happens. That's Kyle Petty behind him. No contact. Oh,
yeah. Joe Nemechek in the 01 car moved down right into Kenny Schrader in the 49.
Yeah, Kenny was down the inside, and Nemechek in the 01 just turned it dead left and got into Kenny right there. You can see he was making such a run on Kyle Petty in the 45, but he had to get out behind him, and here come Kenny.
I know I had it earlier. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway, where caution has just flown for rookie Scott Riggs, who spun his Valvoline Chevy coming off turn number 4 down to the inside of the front straightaway. Traffic oncoming, and caution resulted. Riggs will be on the right side of your screen coming into the picture.
Oh yeah, Kyle Petty couldn't go, and here comes Michael, and Scott Riggs had to pay for that.
It's what happened, 2 cars in
quarters, but the big trouble. Brendan Gaughan goes around. Here comes the leader. He gets out of the throttle. That's a break for Kyle Petty, who is ahead of Jeff Gordon at the moment of caution. Not sure about Ward Burton, whether he'll remain on the lead lap or not after Brendan Gaughan's spin.
Hold your steady there.
I tell you, Brendan did a good job. He spun that thing around. It was headed right for the fence, locked it down. He got a big boot, though, from the 25 car. That's what sent him around. Brian Vickers.
Riding with Hermie Sadler right here. We're not sure. He may, I think he'd win a lap down, but he possibly may be the free pass car. We'll just have to see after they unravel it.
See how they sort it out. We're talking about Ferrari Durrell team orders. Here there are no team orders because the cars have different sponsors on the same team, so not a lot of that goes on. Here's what happened going into 3 off, was that Brian Vickers?
Vickers, yeah.
Vickers.
Look at all that smoke, and I know that doesn't look like a lot here, but when you're out there on the racetrack.
There's the distance in car lengths, if you will, what 21 seconds
backwards, 19 in the wall, turn
Mayfield.
And we have no caution. We have no caution. Caution is out. But Casey Kane will just barely stay on the lead lap. Jeff Burton in the 99 car was on pit road completing a pit stop.
Mayfield will get away, but he has killed the left side of that car.
But that was a huge break for his teammate Casey Kane, who we had just talked about.
Speaking of Bill Elliott, I saw Bill this morning. He's here overlooking Casey Kane's efforts. Ran just down the road at 311 Speedway in Madison, North Carolina. Dirt track about 15 miles from here. Had some fun last night. One of his Evernham Motorsports colleagues finished 4th in that race. But he's having a blast hauling his dirt car around the country and running special events. One of his teammates, Jeremy Mayfield, not so fortunate here.
Oh no, I don't know if that's too much brake or if he had a left rear tire down. Something caused that car to really snap around. Ooh, that's at about 90 miles an hour. You go down that front straightaway. That's if you get it slowed down a little bit. Did I know? Oh, 22 car around off turn 4.
Scott Wimmer.
Darrell, he locked up the brakes down in turn 1 and 2 at the other end of the speedway, so he was having some sort of problem before he spun up here at turn 4.
Locked up on entry. The thing's dead.
To bring out the 9th caution.
You just heard him say locked up on entry. Because he was all by himself. I just looked up and saw him going around.
Get the tires down.
And I tell you, Brian Vickers, it looks like Jimmy Johnson's teammate will be the free pass. I just believe maybe people like Jeff Gordon, those guys who will watch Scott Wimmer here, see the brakes locking up on him. That was through the last set of corners off turn 2, and I watch him down here in 3 and 4.
Just got loose.
Way back past the center of the corner.
Yeah, he'd have been off the brakes by then. Got up out of the groove a little bit, looked like.
Now, with 85 laps to go.
Loose right now, like the air pressures are really, really low.
Rusty. Whoa, spin, Harvick, turn 4, caution. No caution, excuse me. They're going to see if he can get going.
Still brace.
He will. Go.
He spins it around. We have caution.
They got a caution.
Caution is out. Joe Nemechek in the 01, he was actually already back on the lead lap because he was in front of our leader, Jimmy Johnson, in the 48, and I believe Ricky Craven in the 32 will get the free pass.
As that was going on, Rusty Wallace had jumped underneath Ryan Newman and was roughing up his teammate in that battle for a second spot.
I think he'll probably go back behind him because that pass was made possibly after the caution. I was watching the 17 and the 29 racing each other pretty hard. And I think the 17 was racing him harder than he was thinking he was going to.
I know we'll...
27-year-old Andy Ponstein trying to make his Busch Series debut for 2004. And as we can see, his car is adorned by a stripe. It was an adventure.
This is right here. This is coming up off turn 2. We've talked about it so much, even during this qualifying session. Car just lunges to the outside. Just run out of racetrack.
Well,
that side is pancake.
It is pancake, but what you said earlier that Robbie Gordon said if you get too low.
That in his first lap somewhat reflects it at a 32.15. That would be the slowest of the 30 cars that's qualified.
Oh,
he ran out of the wall right there.
Trying to pick it up too much. Got in that outside wall. Eddie, I hate to tell you, but you need to slow this thing down and bring it onto the garage area. You hit it extremely hard, my friend.
And, you know, we should mention a lot of times when you see cars hit the wall like that, we know it does damage to the sheet metal, but it'll often bend parts of the suspension.
Yeah, I mean, it'll knock the rear end over. It'll bend the track bar that holds the rear end in the center of the car. It'll bend the trailing arm. If it hits in the front, you'll bend A-frames, ball joints, tie rods. And then the driver will do that, and then he'll complain about how the car's driving.
As you can see right there, as he gets ready to make the turn here on pit road, he has definitely pancaked the side of that car.
Let's watch him off turn 2 right here. There you see he was up out of the groove just a little bit, but just carrying way too much speed for the way his car was handling at the exit of turn 2. Yeah, he was up way too high too early.
Car wasn't turning. It was getting a little bit loose at the same time. He was committed. Mr. Paul Menardi has been studying films as well as running the computer. But one thing he was very impressed about as far as what was he got in the wall right there was so far at Las Vegas as well as Rockingham, he had not put a scratch on the race car yet, Bell. He just got to Darlington, and welcome to Darlington, Paul.
And he picked it up on that second lap. He goes from 26th quickest to 21st quickest, even with hitting the wall. Yep. I don't know if it was worth those 5 or 6 positions, though. But that's a good run, because he was actually, when practice opened this morning, he was the first car to spin out coming off turn 4.
Running over stuff in the pit is not a really good thing to do.
But I mean, look at the damage on pit road.
He's got problems,
I mean,
yeah.
He's got serious. I think the problem is, Darrell, 32 cars on pit road at one time.
Kevin LePage trying to get into his pit. And Johnson comes out.
That's where your spotter and your crew chief, they got to be a little stronger, talking him out of there.
Costing us time. I can see everybody reset. I don't know what my problem is. I'll try to get in there better.
Turn 2, and it is Jeff Green. His lucky charm must have gone out the window because he's pounded the wall at corner number 2 in that petty dodge.
We've been talking about him, Mike. He was running in 14th position when this happened. I don't know if he ran out of racetrack or if he had a right front tire go down or what, but a lot of damage to the right front of that 43 car.
Third caution of the day at lap 137.
Been hitting these cautions about right. You know, about when you'd really like to start thinking about making pit stops.
Dale Jr. back in the garage.
That setup didn't work. Let's try another one, boys.
And Jeff Green coming onto pit road with a battered race car.
There, the next thing you know, he's going to get a backup car out.
Matt?
Mike, over the past 80 laps, Brian Vickers has backslid to 15.
Oh, trouble down here.
Car around Michael. Michael Waltrip backs it in hard.
Heavy rear end damage.
We just had watched him in that battle. He was running in the 15th position. Definitely, they're going to have to take that to the garage.
It's going to be more than the garage. He's going to be in there with Dale Jr., but for a whole different reason. Well, look like
right
that thing
behind
just...
you. You're in the middle of the track. You can't move down. The whole pack is behind you.
Looked like the thing just broke loose. A lot like what we saw Ryan Newman do.
Down pretty bad, guys.
And Darrell, you look at his first 2 races. At Daytona finished 38th, Rockingham 33rd. It just keeps on backsliding.
Yeah, and the window net's down. I see him moving around.
Now there's some damage on Bill Elliott's car. We're not sure if it's from this or something else.
He was racing pretty heavily there with several cars.
This is the 3 cars we're battling for about 15th, going off into turn 3, Darrell.
Oh, yeah. Just ever so slightly, Bill got into the back of him.
You're out there sliding around, you're running 150 miles per hour. A little tap can do a lot of damage.
With Kenny Wallace, and he was the fastest man in practice this morning. Kenny's got 10 poles, including at one point in his life a pole here in what
Paul Wolf has crashed and really torn that car up coming out of what we called Calamity Corner, turn 2.
We talked about it a little earlier, Mike, when you come up off of turn 2. If you miss what I consider the middle of 1 and get up too high coming up off of turn 2, what happened to Paul Wolf happens a lot of times to a lot of drivers.
Coming off that corner, Jeff, the track just falls right out from under you.
It really does. I've been down here before. As we see right now, the NASCAR officials coming over and checking out Paul Wolf. He's moving inside the car, but if you just take a look, the car kind of bobbles on him right there, gets loose. He gets up a little bit high and tries to catch it, and away she goes.
That's a hard hit. I mean, a very hard hit. Yeah, I mean, on fresh tires here, you pick the throttle up so early. Back in the middle of the corner, you're carrying so much speed, and you just saw it get loose with him on acceleration. That overcorrect.
Let's see, was he high up the racetrack?
I think a little bit high. You try to see, he's a little bit high right there, and you try to pull it down right there, and you lose that banking, and it's not much grip. And the one other thing right there, and not to criticize the young man because he is a rookie, but they'll tell you in these drivers' meetings, these veterans will tell you when it gets loose like that, turn it to the left, lock it up, and spin it around. And he tried to catch it, and he got away from it.
He was up the racetrack about a half a lane.
And that was a hard lick. You notice the car come all the way up off the ground.
Wham! Oh. And the Country Crock car is headed, apparently, for the house. Tough break for the rookie, Paul Wolf, Busch North Series graduate from Milford, New York. There he is. Stacy Compton on track for his run in the Kingsford number 59, but in practice, here's what happened to Stacy. Excuse me, that's not Stacy, that's the 59 Cup car.
Backup car. Then they even had to change engines this morning, but he's up to the 25th position.
Junior has spun.
Oh man, he not only spun,
he's caught a little bit of the wall there.
He's hit that wall pretty hard, I think.
Clear right there. If you hit anything,
He came by the last time in 20th position racing with Robbie Gordon and Jimmy Johnson.
I tell you, he and Robbie Gordon have had something going on. I'm not sure what the deal is. I think they were poking on each other pretty good.
Was that turn 4?
I think it was, Mike. I think it was on the outside of what would have been the outside of turn 4.
Sure, if Jimmy Johnson got into the back of him,
No,
he
I
just
don't think
lost
so.
it.
I think he got over those rumble strips and lost it.
Let's listen here.
That's what happened right there.
Yeah, he just got on the rumble strips. Thing jumped up in the air, and around she went.
Back on.
I think he does have that tire going down that they were talking about earlier.
What tire, Darrell?
Holy cow.
The left front's completely
the whole
gone.
left front's gone.
What tire is in? It's just not there anymore. Oh, geez.
And, of course, he'll be able to make it to pit road, but no, it's not. It wouldn't even turn. He's over in the tire wall. The caution is out.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen a race start, any race really, with the kind of things we've had happen so far.
New pavement. A lot of drivers counting points, chasing for the chase for the championship. Everybody's got an agenda, and everybody's in a hurry.
Now, Jimmy Johnson, I think they smelled the caution flag coming. They made it to pit road before it was closed. He gets in there and gets those 4 tires and fuel.
Steve?
Okay. Guys, listening to Robbie Gordon, that tire saga continued, as you just saw. A lap ago, he said there is something wrong with this race car, and then as we saw, the left front tire came off, but they have no idea what the problem was as he heads into his pit stall.
Steve, is the whole wheel gone?
Everything's gone, Mike.
Wow.
Looking at it right here, there's absolutely nothing. The brake rotor is there.
I thought
and
I saw the
axle hub,
lug,
but that's it.
I thought I could still see the lug nuts on it.
No, I think it's all gone, Darrell. The wheel, the lug nuts, everything off. Uh-oh, that is Brandon Ash off in the dirt. One of the West Coast drivers. Blue flags will wave up at the north end of the course, which instructs the drivers to take care, but does not prohibit passing.
So we stay green. No caution.
You're not going to see many cautions. We're tired of cautions. You're not going to see many today. Local cautions, that's about it. Whoa, we just got off.
Got off the racetrack.
Whoa, look out, baby.
Kyle in the 45 car, Kyle Petty just barely gets by.
That's back in 30th position, there, 29th and 30th.
And it happened in turn 11, Darrell.
It's Austin Cameron in the 61, and then Ryan Newman in the 12 gets into the back of him. Of course, Austin is out there in the 61 car 24 laps down trying to make repairs to that car.
Second, just 40 laps. But there's a blown motor going into turn 4.
Caution's out, caution's out.
Right in front of the leader, you saw Jack Sprague drive by. There's Chase Montgomery, the A-truck. Looks like he might have made some contact either coming off turn number 2 or maybe at the exit of the dog leg in the backstretch.
It looks like he might have blown that right front tire field just as he made the dog leg on the back straightaway and hit the outside retaining wall. There's a mark, on the outside wall.
Big mark right there. They do have the safer barriers here, but that looks like that's a spot that the safer barrier has not been installed yet. It's on around that straightaway towards the corner a little bit.
Did a lot of damage to that truck.
See, the window net's down.
Let's take a look at what took place.
Here they are exiting the dog leg right here. Definitely, Michael, as you said, the right front tire went down. I'm sure he turned the steering wheel, but it did nothing when that right front tire went down.
Took place. Problems between Mike Skinner, who you see the work being done on his truck, and the 88 of Tracy Hines.
We're going down in turn number 3. You see Mike Skinner looks to the inside, but Tracy had already committed to drive to the bottom of the racetrack. Mike did all he could do, Michael, to stay off him, but unfortunately, he lost control, got a little bit sideways, made some contact to turn Tracy up into the wall.
Check out how violent this sounds, Phil. Check this out. And watch Chad Chapman come through here. Whoa. They just split right in time for him to shoot through the middle.
Fortunately, Mike Skinner slid down to the bottom of the racetrack, and Chad had a
way to fix it is to run a different line. You keep hitting the same lines. Chad Chapman is in the wall.
Big hit for the 18 of Chad Chapman. That Dickey's Dodge came and hit the inside wall very hard coming off of turn 4.
They were racing 3 wide, Rick, as they exited turn 4, and Chad Chapman wound up with the short end of that stick. They got together. He shot down in the inside wall.
Shortened that truck up quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the front of that truck. Left rear tire not even turning right now. See if we can take a look at what happened. As you mentioned, Michael, they were racing right in front of them. You see the 24 of Travis Quabbel makes some contact. Chad turns to the inside as Terry Cook went to the inside of John Wood. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, had nowhere to go, just made a little bit of contact, just turned him straight into the inside wall. This racetrack's only about 50 feet wide on the front stretch, and he had so little room to try to save that truck. Ray.
Hey guys, I had said earlier that Chad will not be driving this 18 next year. We did confirm that earlier today. That does not necessarily mean that he won't have something to do with Bobby Hamilton Racing, but Chase Montgomery will take over the reins of the number 18 next year. And as I told you, Dickey's will not be back on this truck. They are very close to signing sponsorship for it, but a driver change here as we get close to the end of the year. So Chad Chaffin, not quite sure what he's going to do. He has 3 different options here in the Craftsman Truck Series. Again, one of those may still be with Bobby Hamilton Racing.
Johnson. How about our singular wireless race talk poll? It heard, trouble. We'll get back to it. Sterling Marlin, that's just exiting turn 1. Caution is out, full course yellow, and the field is frozen.
Just looking over at our
All right, all clear.
Wow.
I hear Greg Biffle has gotten a piece of Sterling Marlin.
That was 22nd, 23rd. Last time they went by.
And so yellow flag number 1 is out here at Watkins Glen. Let's check it out.
Trying to outbrake him, and it's hard to see by that angle, but
yeah,
that was pretty obvious there.
Wow. That's heavy contact with that right front. On board with Greg Biffle as he goes down the corner trying to get on the inside. Sterling gives him room, but just pushes up and catches that right rear.
If you go back and see that first angle again, I think
trouble. Turn 4, caution is out.
2-car wreck. Aaron Fike is one of them. Mike Wallace is number 4, is the other. The left front on Fike's car, minus all of its sheet metal. The Ollie's Bargain Outlet Dodge. They're going to have a few remnants for Monday's sale. And trouble on the Geico car as Mike Wallace gets on the horn to a claims adjuster. We'll be back to Nashville after this. Both Aaron Fike and Mike Wallace are okay. Walk to the ambulance under their own power. Pit stops, Jeff Hammond.
Bobby Hamilton Jr., I believe, the 25 car.
It is, and it'll bring out the caution.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
And Casey Kane may get the break he needed. In fact, it's going to be a big break because I don't think Clint Boyer has stopped. We're going to have just a handful of cars left on the lead lap.
Yeah, the bad news for Casey Kane, as I just had said, he's now going to have to use his final 3rd set of tires here with a bunch of laps to go in this race.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. slides up the hill in turn number 4 and brings out the race's 3rd caution. Had a problem up in turn 4. You'll see him come in from the right side of the screen. Up there and into the wall. Jeff Hammond, what happened to Bobby Jr.?
Mike, his days continue to get kind of bad as far as Bobby Hamlin's concerned. A right rear tire.
Never mind. Boyer takes it 3 wide.
But look at the leader right there that was leading the race, Ron Hornaday. He gets tapped from behind right in front of the entire field.
Michael Waltrip got him. And here comes everybody. Now, Hornaday was leading the pack, but not leading the race.
He was trying to stay on the lead lap, the tail end lead lap. So was Robbie Gordon. In my book, those guys were not showing a lot of patience right there, though.
Nobody was.
Now, Robbie Gordon, at 55, he will get back on the lead lap because he was in front of the leader. But there you see all the damage to Michael Waltrip in the 99 car. He was running in the 2nd position.
Yeah, he got into Hornaday, whose car was spun and stopped. And the 10 car also has a lot of damage, Gus Wasson.
As we always say, cautions breed cautions, especially when guys are trying to stay on the lead lap and trying to get back on the lead lap.
Wasson's able to get away with what looks like minimal damage. He replaced Jason Schuler for this weekend's race in the number 10. Michael Waltrip, after coming all the way up into the top 3, trouble on the left front because he could not avoid Hornaday. Let's see what happened here coming out of turn 4, Larry.
Yeah, this should be right in the middle of turn 3 and 4 as they head off into the corner. Take a look at it right here. There you see Robbie Gordon, the 55, had already got in the back of Ron Hornaday in the 2 car. There you see him sideways. Johnny Sauter going to the bottom. There's our leader, Clint Boyer. And there's where Michael Waltrip in the 99 just wasn't sure which way he needed to go with cars on the high side, low side. Gets a lot of damage to the left front.
Tough break to put out the 4th caution of
his crew chief Danny Gill said, don't worry, set 3 is what we'll put on next, and they'll be much looser. We have a big spin right now on the racetrack, and I believe this will set up our 1st round of pit stops.
Big spin, Ray mentioned, and a big problem for the 18 Dickies Dodge of Chad Chaffin. He got some serious body damage as he was caught up in that accident.
Just happened to be looking right at that one, Rick. Looked like Andy Petrie got into turn 3 a little deeper than he meant to. And I think he clobbered Travis Quapple and then sent Travis into the 18, but I'm not sure. There was a chain reaction wreck, I will tell you that.
There's Robert Humphrey. You saw a little bit of damage. There's Chad Chaffin, the Dickies Dodge. Number 18, our outside pole sitter.
Chad Chaffin got spun around and probably wouldn't have had much damage, but had to back up to get the truck pointing in the right direction. And when he backed up, he backed right into traffic. right rear quarter panel bent in very hard. Let's take a look at what happened.
Here they are entering turn number 3. That's Andy Petrie runs in the back of the 75 of David Starr. That in turn knocks him into the 18 of Chad Chaffin. Now everyone's just trying to find a way out.
Oh, and he didn't keep his brakes locked, like Rick says, trying to get the thing in a position so he wouldn't lose a lap. Could get on his way back right in front of the 22, I think.
I think it was Robert Huffman, maybe the 12 truck. We saw the damage there. Another bad break for Robert Huffman. He's had nothing but bad break. Another shot of it there. You see Andy driving the corner, gets into the 75. Watch now. If he just held his brakes right here, he wouldn't back down, and it is 12, Robert Huffman.
12. But Andy just, Andy overshot that turn and ran into the 75. Tire wrinkled, front wheel all wrinkled up.
Oh, and problems in turn 4. Steve Park, and it looks like Brad Keselowski in the 29.
Caution is out.
So caution 5 comes out before the close call that we're going to see of DW. And so that brings out caution 5. Steve Park, Brad Keselowski involved in that mishap.
They were both fortunate enough to stay on the lead lap without any damage.
Oh, Bill Lester's got some serious damage to the front end.
Explain.
Oh, trouble over here in turn 2, guys. The car around and bam, gets hit.
Caution is out. Whoa, he
boy.
just about got it again.
He did get it again.
Yeah, somebody clipped him as he went by. I can't tell who that is.
That was the 51 on the bottom, Shane Sieg, one of the 15 drivers running his first Las Vegas Busch race. There's Stacy Compton, who was involved. There's Sieg in the 51.
Compton clipped him as he went by.
So what turned out to be a 3-car crash puts us under the first caution of the day at lap 32.
A lot of damage to the left front fender, Stacy Compton in the 59.
So you don't have to use the brakes as much.
I'd say 32 laps into this run, that's about a half of a fuel run. I think we'll see pit road very busy with adjustments and 4 tires.
Now the first car to spin around was this man, Donnie Neuenberger, in the 77. He was caught up by Shane Sieg, and then Stacy Compton came along and clipped Sieg.
It's coming off turn 2 right there.
Yeah, he just gets loose. Nobody's around him, but then he gets nailed right there by the 51 car. And then Compton was trying to go by on the inside there and clipped him.
Here's where Compton comes along on the bottom in the 59.
Just got him with the tail. Or Sieg actually backed down into Compton as Compton sped past. 3 cars involved. Shane Sieg got the worst of it. First caution of the day, running a higher and higher line, and finally ran out of racetrack down in turn number 1. Pounded up against the wall. You can see he's still running. He'll get to pit road and make repairs in the iCanLearn.com Chevrolet. But here's what happened.
But I'm going to tell you who really benefits from this is Tim Fedowa in the 12. He's going to come right back up in front of Greg Biffle, Billy Parker.
Holy cow. Everybody gets by.
And David Green comes across the line in 11th position.
Backwards. What a day, guys.
If we haven't seen it all today, I don't know when.
I got a headache. I'm exhausted.
Car from last year.
Now here's what happened to David Green.
I'm telling you, this could have been a lot worse than it was. I know he gets some damage here, but that car was headed fast for that outside retaining wall.
And he still crossed the line. And 4, Dick, a car's around, and he had help. Spinning is out. Yep, 16 of Justin Ashburn got into that corner, maybe a little quicker than he wanted, got tagged from behind and spun.
That's the second car he's used up this weekend. He crashed one here in practice on Friday and wadded it up pretty good as well.
First caution of the day comes at lap 21.
That's good. That's a great time to have a caution. Now you've got time to analyze your car, kind of know what you need to do, make some quick adjustments here on this pit stop, and go back and have a whole lot better race car.
And this is entering turn 3.
Now let's see what happens here. Oh, this looks like it. Hornaday is down under him, and you know, I'm not so sure that
Looked like Ron Hornaday got a bunch of damage to his right front.
Yeah, he did. You expect people, see the 16 starts to move down, and Ashburn started to move down, and when he did, Hornaday was there, and of course Truex is right up in the middle of that too. It looks like he may have gotten some damage.
The 8 car.
One lap before all that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the leaders trying to get past some traffic here. That's Derek Cope on the inside.
Yeah,
there's the 16.
Yeah, he just got into the fence down there. He's been up the right side. So he had some handling issues already.
And that's when Casey Kane went to the apron to get around, I believe, the 24 of Mike Harmon.
Now the field is bunched up behind the pace truck, but a lot like it. Donnie Nunenberger in the 77 and the 51 car of Shane Sieg.
I think Neuenberger was already around when Sieg got there and sent him the rest of the way along the safer barrier. Second caution of the day comes out with 43 laps completed.
Now, DW, this is where it gets interesting. We've ran about 15 laps since I gave you your last set of tires. We still got over 100 laps to go. I only have 2 sets sitting in these pits.
You better start selling. You better start doing a better selling job than that, buddy. But no, you're right. I think you got to stay out right now. You can't come and get those tires just yet. It's not going to be any fun. The driver's going to whine a lot, but I think you're right. Oh yeah.
Nunenberger in the 77 just loses it, and there's no way for Shane Sieg to go. He's trying to go to the high side, but Nunenberger stayed up there. And Matt Yoakum, how about the story on Casey?
Somebody call a claims adjuster. Mike Wallace has come to grief up in turn number 4 in the Geico Ford, and I think he had some help up there.
Yeah, he did. Looked like the 12 car Fidoa got into the back of him and got him doing that old hospital hop, as we call it, and into the wall she went.
Mike was running up at about the 13th position.
He gets him loose right here, and he's trying to catch it, but he can't. He scrapes the wall. Now he's out of control, and she goes back to the...
Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25 car just getting by.
Let's, Darrell, have a look. See if Mike Wallace doesn't get loose before Fidoa gets to him.
There's always that chance. Oh, he's wiggling a little bit right there, caused him to have to get up out of the gas a little bit, and Fidoa's got a run on him. I mean, Mike's going to be mad, but really and truly, it's not.
Spin back straightaway. Car into the inside wall. Ponstein. Stremme holds off Benson to the line.
It's a battle for 5th right there. You have David Stremme, Johnny Benson.
Field. Happened on the back straightaway last lap.
Looked like Jason Leffler in a 00 car. He was racing Jason Keller. They were racing for 13th position. And Andy Ponce.
3 and 4, and he's going around into the wall.
Caution is out. Morgan Shepherd in 89 just barely gets by. And I tell you, these guys have to be wondering, where is it going to stop at?
Yeah, ever since September of last year, this is the way his cars look most of the time.
Caution out beginning lap 9. Here at Darlington, Michael Waltrip gets caught up, and
it looks like the car, I was looking at it, and I glanced up to see it just gets loose going in. He tries to catch up with it. Not enough room here to chase a car up the hill. Gets clipped in the left front, turns it back into the outside wall.
First caution of the day comes early at Darlington, South Carolina. Kenseth goes around. Didn't see how that started, but
caution is out.
Oh, more cars, more cars.
Ricky Craven in the 32.
Scott Riggs. And now everybody woes up on the brakes and we'll get through. But Craven's car looks pretty well done.
Ian got us in the back.
Yep, Riggs got into Craven, but Kenseth will drive away.
I think Kenseth spun, the 10 slowed down, and 32 slowed down, the 10 got into him.
Now, I'm quite sure saying Matt Kenseth, the 17 car, as we watch Scott Riggs with a lot of damage. But Matt Kenseth, our points leader, will stay on the lead lap, I'm almost sure.
I don't know, Larry. He's creeping along down the back. I think he's trying to keep tires from tearing up the body on the car.
The left side looks pretty well torn up already.
But he has a flat left rear tire, is exactly what Darrell's saying.
That bad boy comes apart, it'll rip the body off that thing.
Let's see what happened here at lap 161 from Ricky Rudd.
Oh, he just got in there. He got in there on the flat. And that'll loosen you up sometime a little bit. He must have already been a little free, and the car just came around with him.
So he's down on the apron. Looks like, no, he's not coming back up.
But you know what? He's got a right front tire that looks like, of course, I know he spun, but you don't usually have flat spot tires too bad here. He may have had a tire problem.
All right, guys, he's on pit road right now, and what they did, smart move by Robbie Reiser and that group. He was close to going a lap down, so they just changed the left side tires now. He'll go around, get caught back up, then come get those fresh right sides.
But that right one is flat, too. You don't want that thing to come apart.
Ricky Craven, last year's winner by 3 inches. This year, gets running.
Cost.
And Tony Stewart and Biffle.
Oh,
they got together. That's it.
Takes him out.
Keep spinning it, keep spinning it, keep spinning it.
Both cars continue on.
Caution is out with 8 laps to go.
That was a battle for 8th right there.
I think this is bad news for everybody except 48 and 9, and I think it's good news for them.
I believe you're right, DW, for sure.
Tony Stewart, who started last and climbed his way well up into the top 10.
Looked like he just got in there under a Biffle, and this just sucked him right up into him.
This is not what Ryan Newman in that 12 wanted to see.
I think not.
Jeff Green will get the free pass, and that will give us 27 cars on the lead lap for the restart. First, let's watch what happened here between Stewart and Biffle.
Stewart, I think Tony thought he had it. You see his front end wiggle just a little bit, and it wiggles again, and he can't stay off of Biffle, and into him he goes. Just hard racing. Down in there. See him move up a little, wiggles, clips it just as he goes back.
Pretty hard lick on that 20 car.
Seven laps to go in Michigan in the DHL. Well, a lot of position changes here in these last couple laps.
Well, we got trouble around on the back.
That's Biffle.
I think it's Biffle again, and they're coming to.
No caution yet. No caution.
If there is, this will be it. This will be the race. In turn
See him
2.
back there.
Here's what happens to Biffle.
I think Biffle was trying to. His car was in the wall. I think he's probably trying to get too much out of it with the condition it was in.
Now, this did not bring out a caution.
No, because he got back going. You'll see right here.
Larry, it's just amazing with the roof flaps and everything they got on these cars now and how they can spin them out and save them and keep going.
Faster and harder than the tires will allow it to.
Trouble. Championship contender in trouble. Crashing on the back straightaway. No. Believe this. Look, like he had contact with Carl Edwards. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Another championship twist.
Oh, no.
It's unbelievable.
It is. I don't think I have to say a lot of damage to the 8-car, do I?
Kurt Busch might be the luckiest dog today.
Because all these other guys.
Yeah, all these other guys can take a shot at him today, are having troubles.
Marty.
He said this car is just killed. He said we are ruined. I don't know what we're going to do here, guys. A lot of damage to the 8-car. He's going to limp it to pit road. They are going to bring him to pit road and see how long they can survive, get as much damage as they can, cleaned up, and keep him out there for these last few laps.
Watch the 99 car of Carl Edwards as Earnhardt Jr. moves up the racetrack. They just make a little bit of contact, 190 miles per hour. That's the result.
Didn't Junior do something like that?
Here.
Wasn't it? Was Ryan Newman?
Was it Ryan Newman?
Yeah.
And crashed exactly the same way a couple of years ago?
He thought he was clear, but he just hooked the bumper.
And that's a big hit.
That is a big hit.
Oh.
Not only
in more ways than one.
more ways than one, yeah.
The onboard view from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car.
He sees that 6 car, and he sees that 6 car in trouble.
No matter what caution they get, they won't be able to make up what he gains on them.
Bobby Hamilton started the race, the third lap, his fastest lap. So when he comes in, into the wall in turn 3,
it's Rick Crawford right there.
Golly.
The whole front end off of that number 14.
A couple more trucks on the back.
Tina Gordon.
That's a bad crash.
13. Yeah. So our first caution comes out at lap 45. Rick Crawford sliding into the infield.
His throttle's hung.
Throttle's hung. We caught a glimpse of Hank Parker Jr. in the 21 Toyota also.
And if his throttle's hung and he's not shutting it off,
his tires are not moving
just
now.
stopped right now.
Just got her shut down.
Look at that! Look how quick that safety crew is there already.
That was a terrible crash.
Now you see why we don't race back to the flag anymore. That safety crew is there immediately.
That's why no matter what controversy comes out of caution flags falling in the middle of pit stops, racing back to the flag is a thing of the past, and we're all happy about that. They're right there tending to Rick.
Also tending.
Up off turn 2, you'll see Tina Gordon get sideways exiting the corner. Does a nice job of not spinning out, but just can't ever control the truck, Phil.
Never can catch up to it. Now she's got the brakes locked up to try to stop that truck, but she stops in the middle of the racetrack. There comes Rick Crawford right behind Dennis Setzer on the 46 truck. Could not see her, never saw her. Clipped her, turned her in front of Hank Parker Jr., who made severe contact on the inside, and it kind of slid down to the inside wall.
And Hank would have missed her had Rick not hit her, but Rick hit her, bounced her over in front of Hank, and then Hank just took a terrible shot head on right into the left front corner of Tina's truck. You can see there. Ooh.
Whoa, and you could hear it too.
See, Rick couldn't see. Rick was right behind another truck. He peeked out behind the other truck to see what was going on. Boom, there's that Tina.
That's Dennis Setzer, the black truck. He gets by, and then Rick comes along. He was just peeking out to take a look and made some hard contact. And that turned her towards the inside of the racetrack where Hank Jr. was, and he made some hard contact.
Nice.
Take a look at what happens to Rick Crawford.
Whoa, he hit the outside wall there. Gosh, his throttle's hung because by the time he got into the infield, his tires were still spinning. So right now, I think his throttle's completely hung, and he's certainly dazed, if not knocked out, Michael.
It's just you're going so fast. I mean, he wrecked over there in the middle of the back straightaway. He's clobbered the wall since then, and just now comes to a stop on the front straightaway. That's how bad the wreck was.
The red flag has just come out. Dennis James showing the field the red flag, so the trucks will come to a stop in turn number 1. We're going to head off to break. We'll be back to let you know how all of the participants in this first. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Dennis James showing us the third caution of the day.
That's the reason why.
Wayne Edwards in the 93 is the reason. Let's take a look.
Oh, wow, look who's right behind him.
Ken pulled up behind him, took a little air off his spoiler, and around Wayne went. He did a great job keeping it out of the inside wall here. He got going straight again, but Schrader had an eyeful of that, didn't he?
We got to ask Schrader what happened.
Let's take a look at what Ken Schrader saw.
And let's see if what he says happened is consistent with what did happen.
This isn't fair. Here's off the throttle.
Whoa. That had to just surprise the heck out of Kenny. It looked like that cat was just riding along, minding his own business. Schrader.
We're back here at Mansfield Motorsports Park, and there goes Travis Quapple leaving the pits. He came in for 4 tires, air pressure adjustment. They took 2 rounds out of the left rear, 1 round out of the right front. He was complaining they were tight through the center off. He said he was concerned with those other cars holding us up, but he thinks he's pretty good by himself. Guys?
Well, we're under our third caution because of Kelly Sutton getting spun around in the Team Copaxton 02 on lap 50. Let's take a look at how that happened.
See Kelly right there on the outside of the racetrack. Jack Sprague got into Kelly, got in the back of Kelly. So that's the second lap truck that Jack Sprague has got into. There's another look. That's the 59 of Mark McFarland on the inside of the racetrack. Jack, again, came up on him so fast. You can see the black marks. He was trying to get woed again. He just entered these corners so fast here because there's so much grip on this racetrack. Well, that's such an advantage. Oh, trouble over in turn 3.
Big crash. Tina Gordon, Terry McDonald, and it looks like the Goodyear 59 of Mark McFarland involved in that as well. Mark McFarland in the Goodyear 59 was the wall, or was the truck on the inside wall. That's Tina Gordon in the Vassarette Microtel Inn and Suites 13. And it looks like a little bit right front damage to the 59 of Mark McFarland. Let's take a look at what happened.
See them entering turn number 3 right here. Tina was way high on the racetrack and got a little bit loose, got sideways, and that just bottled up the field in front of them. You saw David Rudham in the 17 truck try to go between Terry and Tina, and Mark McFarland was against the inside wall there. See Tina on the outside of the racetrack in that orange truck. She turned sideways right in front of David Rudham, and actually I wonder if there was something down there on the racetrack, because Terry McDonald turned sideways at the same time on the bottom of the racetrack.
Caution number 4 has come out at Mansfield.
They got seized up right there. Jack got in the back of Travis Quapple, the 24 truck. Now they're going to go down in turn number 1. Jack got a little bit sideways, got in the back of the 18 truck, and Bobby Hamilton and Innocets are able to drive by on the inside. That's the first time Jack Sprague has been passed all afternoon.
Caution comes out again at Mansfield Motorsports Speedway. Debris on the track this time. It looks like possibly, I see the name Goodyear. Mark McFarland, number 59, had some problems earlier. Look at that Dodge Dickies.
That's Chad Chaffin. He was the one that Jack ran in the back of. That's obviously somebody stopped, it looks like, in front of Chad Chaffin. Let's take another look at see what happened here. There's Chad, the blue truck right there, right in the middle of your screen. See Matt Crafton. Hank Parker checks up because he and Matt Crafton made contact. That's when Travis ran in the back of Chad Chaffin, and then Jack ran in the back of Travis.
Started chain reaction. Terry Cook just out in front of Bobby Hamilton, and again Bill Lester spinning, and problems, a hard hit. Joe Aramendia involved in Chase Montgomery in the 8, having problems on the backstretch.
Caution flags breed caution flags, and looked like Bill had some contact from behind, got turned around, left him in the middle of the racetrack, and these trucks are going so fast down that backstretch. Some hard contact.
We see Joe Aramendia moving around, taking the steering wheel off.
Looks like Bill's moving around there too. You can see his head bobbing around inside the truck right there.
Disappointed, very frustrated, getting spun around, and then the cars or trucks coming up behind him, and you see the massive damage to the 8 of Chase Montgomery.
He's moving around also in the truck, so that's a great sign. This was really reminiscent of the crash we had at Atlanta with Tina Gordon, Hank Parker Jr., and Rick Crawford. A truck sitting almost stationary in the backstretch, and these trucks coming along at probably 90 to 100 miles an hour and running into them, making some hard contact.
Steve Park in the 62.
A victim
again.
For the 4th consecutive race, Steve Park has been run into on this racetrack.
Let's take another look at how our 12th caution has come out today in Ohio.
I think Bill Lester's going to got a little help getting turned around there. He wasn't quite able to keep it on the bottom of the racetrack. Look, they're 3-4 wide there. Carl tried to avoid him, and 2 trucks had nowhere to go. The 31 of Joe Aramendia, it looked like Chase Montgomery in the 8 truck, had nowhere to go, ran into the side of him. There's Steve there. That's the 78 of Charlie Bradbury. Turn around, and Steve, again, nowhere to go, a victim of circumstances.
Unbelievable, the luck of the Orleans 62.
See another look there. Looks like maybe Brandon Witt might have gotten the back of Bill, turned him around a little bit. Bill tries to keep the truck down on the bottom of the racetrack and did a pretty good job, but they were 3 and 4 wide coming off of turn 2 there, because the trucks that saw Bill spin backed off, and that just allowed all the trucks to just get jumbled up there in a big pile.
You remember Sean Parker making the comment earlier to Ted Musgrave, we don't want to be in the back because we don't want to get...
Richard of the 16 crew, get back upstairs, guys.
Got trouble, turn 2. J.J. Yaley and Brendan Gaughan. Yaley in the 11, Gaughan in the 77.
Man. So look what that pit stop cost Brendan Gaughan. He gets back there at the end of the...
Back there in the end of the line in the traffic. And you're mad. Yaley in his next Nextel Cup debut, driving for Joe Gibbs. Only lasts 33 laps before involved in this crash. And then Brendan Gaughan, after the penalty Benny talked about, caught up in the accident.
We see Brendan up there on the very top. Just loses it, Wally.
Yaley.
Yaley, I'm sorry, yeah.
He gets up in the gray stuff, and then he turns it back to the right, which Brendan Gaughan thought he was going down the racetrack, so he chose to go high. But unfortunately, Yaley started going back up the racetrack, and Brendan had no place to go. See Brendan there.
Yeah, he thinks he's
going down the racetrack, and then he turns to the right. Oh, man. Bad luck right there.
Yes, sir.
That is bad luck.
And a spin on the racetrack.
Got one off turn 4, Greg Biffle.
Little right rear tire, maybe?
Sure looks it.
Blew a right rear or something, Doug.
Here you have it.
Man, did it blow a right rear tire.
Wow.
Man, oh man, did it blow a right rear tire.
I want you to stay below the white line. It blew a right rear and tore the whole back of the body off, Doug.
He was running 4th at the time.
We were telling you earlier about what happens when those tires come apart. That's what happens.
That's why Carl Edwards was being so slow trying to get back to the pits.
Nice and easy now, Greg. We got one big piece flapping in the back. I don't know about the front fenders. Let's try to savor those as much as we can.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of work. He can't see that right side unless he's looking at our TV. Because
so you hit the wall with the car, or the tire will blow it apart.
Check it out, coming at you.
Right there, blows just exiting turn 4, and I mean turns you instant.
It's Casey Kane right behind him, squeezing through. Wow.
Yeah, he did a...
I don't think the car ever touched the wall.
I don't think so either.
And Jeff Gordon has come down pit road before the pace car even picked up the field.
For one. Caution, trouble off turn 4. Got 2 in the grass. Shane Meal in the 23, Jimmy Spencer in the 4.
See some damage to the right front of Shane Meal's 23 car.
And both cars. Spencer.
Looks like both cars going to drive away.
It looks like Jimmy's got damage there quite a bit on the front.
Tell you what, you can tell, he does have a lot of damage. You can tell it's hot inside the cars because a couple of times when the cars slow down, the first thing the drivers do is stick that left hand out the window and get some air inside.
All right, what happened?
Well, there's Jimmy Spencer up the 4. Gets a little bit loose. He's trying to save it. Oh, and just gets into Biffle, which Shane Meal was right underneath him, although Shane looked like he was sliding up the racetrack anyway.
I think Biffle came down to try to dodge the 4 and kind of ran into the 23 car, but he had nowhere to go. He had to try to dodge the 4.
That'll be a scary slide through the grass at 180 miles an hour. Shane Meal, the 24-year-old son of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated Technical Director Steve Meal.
In front of you there.
Yep.
Clear high.
That's right in front of you.
That is fear factor for sure.
He's been playing that all day. Okay, here's this Shane Meal's car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, these rookies are getting quite an experience today.
Yeah, J.J. Yaley and Shane Meal.
I can't believe I didn't hit anything. Oh, Kurt Busch. Look out, trouble off turn 2.
No, easy.
Stand on the gas.
You hit anything out there, Kurt?
I don't think so.
Did he just
Negative.
Maybe just the right rear, just a little bit, but...
Did he do that at Michigan, the same thing? Same spot off turn 2?
Yeah, it looks pretty clean.
I thought he was going to hit the inside retaining wall.
Now he's got flat right front tire. So be careful bringing it back around to pit road.
He would have hit the inside BP if there wasn't asphalt back there.
I think you said that in Michigan.
I'm telling you, I'm a big fan of the asphalt going to the inside of the racetrack, because I tell you, when you hit the grass, you're done.
Yeah,
you're just going on to the right. Yeah, he's got a little right rear damage.
This time, man, let's make sure that right front fender's okay.
What brought out the 8th caution of the race? Watch Kurt Busch.
I think he just got up in front of that car, whoever that is, and got arrow loose.
I think that's right. I think he was really gave him the slide job off the corner, and about the time he drove up in front of him, he got arrow loose, and around it went.
Take a look from, he's already gone there. Just tags the wall with the right rear, but I don't think that's going to really hurt him any. The front fenders are what's really important here, and I don't think that's going to hurt him too much.
He was nailing that gasoline, the accelerator, spinning those tires, trying to get away from the downside retaining wall until he looked up and saw the inside.
Tonight, maybe testing for the chase.
No, we weren't. You know, I mean, this is definitely an issue we're going to have to deal with and get figured out. Good thing is, our toughest tracks are these 2-mile racetracks like this. We've had our problems here, and we're certainly going to have to figure it out. But most of the tracks that we run, we shouldn't have this issue. But I mean, we didn't turn a lot of RPM. We had a rev limiter in there, you know, making sure we didn't do that. I don't think it's a valve train thing. I smelled something, and they think it might be somewhere in a piston or something. But great job on this DuPont Chevrolet team, man. Great pit stops and getting the car from the back to the front. You know, I ran over something when Biffle spun, and real proud of these guys' effort. I didn't have anything for 9 or 6, but we still had a solid effort.
They made a good recovery. They're going to make another recovery before this chase starts, guys.
All right, you see the cautions out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has spun in turn 4, and he's got some damage to the left front and the right rear.
You heard him say it blew a tire out going down the back stretch. He thought.
That's in the corner there.
Got the rear there. How do you get the left front damage? Does somebody clip him when he comes down the track? Oh, when he runs off onto the flat of the racetrack, right at that white line.
The apron, yeah. There's where he's
crinkle. Oh, into the grass.
The grass did that.
He will get to 30.
4. I got 2 cars in the wall. One bursting into flames. Ken Schrader with a scary moment. Dale Jr., the other one involved in the crash. The fire extinguishing itself on Schrader's car after the brief flare-up. And the yellow flag's out with 17 to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's
Schrader's out of the car.
Schrader's bailing out of that car. I'll tell you what, this caution flag is something Mark Martin did not need to see.
No, you are right.
That's an unhappy camper there.
Yes, it is. Tough break for Schrader, who was 17 laps away from the checkered flag. And obviously, whatever happened to cause that has greatly upset him.
A lot of damage to that car, the right side.
Yeah, pretty hard. Little 160-mile-an-hour crash, that'll get your attention. Kind of pick things up here in progress.
Man, I bet you we can get inside that A car, maybe see what happened. And all of that oil and water that hit Dale Jr.'s camera also hit his tires.
Yes.
And that's why he got into the wall.
Now watch the flare up there.
Boy, that's debris that all over the racetrack. See it laying there.
Yeah.
That these lead cars have to run.
0. Jeremy Mayfield, we got a crash right here. Hermie Sadler in the 0-2. Caution is out.
And cars are going through the infield there. The 72 car. Randy McDonald had to take evasive action through the grass.
So Hermie Sadler.
Out. You got plenty of time right here.
Sadler runs out of racetrack at turn 4.
The track gets really, you just come off that corner as we're talking about, you got so much speed, you're carrying the speed out of that corner wide open, and then you just run out of racetrack and the wall just sticks out there just enough that you clip it.
A lot of damage to Hermie's car.
Something to work on your toe in also, Ernie.
She's over in turn 4.
Yeah, he just gets up there and gets too high. I don't think he had any help from anybody. I don't see anybody around him.
It's like he clipped the rear of the car, went down the racetrack, and when he corrected it, went back up and caught with the right front.
Oh, trouble in pit lane.
Well,
Stan Boyd goes spinning.
Oh, he was out of
the wall.
Well, he was out of control when he came off the racetrack out of control.
Caution is out. Caution is out. Of course, this will be a huge break for Matt Kenseth in that 17 car. He'll be able to go back around. He'll be at the back of the lead lap cars.
And so once again, they take something bad and turn it into something good. He does it all the time.
Two drivers that
sliding along pit road there, and the cruiser's scrambling. There's a tire laying there, and man, that's just like a bullet.
Takes two guys down.
Holy cow, look at that.
Boy, and thank goodness those crewmen are required to wear helmets, or that could have been a lot more severe.
Tire weighs about, what, Larry, 75 pounds with the inner liner?
Yeah,
wheel.
at least that much, 70, 75 pounds.
So at least one crew member is receiving assistance.
Morning, and some found trouble. The 5-car, Kyle Busch, spinning down the backstretch off of turn 2, but luckily doesn't hit anything. Kenny Wallace in the 23 car suffers engine problems. You see smoke out the back of that car. Dana White in the 51. The back end is missing off of his machine. Hot day for Stacy Compton in the 59 car. You'll see flames out from underneath the fenders on the front of that race car. Not what he wanted to see. And Michael Waltrip has problems, a hard crash as well, right near the end of practice. Right now, we'll check in with our Matt Yoakum.
But no, it's fun. I mean, this is it's a lot of fun running for Delana and Kevin, and you know, to have Kid Rock, a good buddy of ours, on the car. It's something Kid Rock and I've been trying to do for a long time. Finally, we got it done.
Well, he's going to try for that first win. A little trouble on the racetrack, though, Steve Burns.
Yeah, sure enough, Matt. Hermie Sadler in the 02 spins out.
Trying to get the car up to speed, and it makes you wonder right now, Steve, if the tires didn't hook up or if he's got some kind of a problem on the 02 car. I was down in the garage area earlier this morning, and Hermie's brother Elliot was down there working with him, trying to get this car hooked up better, because he really wasn't happy with the car at all. He was really struggling, and Elliot had come down to try to offer some advice and help him work on the car.
Take another look at what happened to Hermie Sadler. It looks like, Jeff, that back end started to come around, and he had it pointed towards the inside retaining wall.
It looked like the back end started to get a little bit loose, and when he turned into it just a little bit, or he's trying to turn, all of a sudden he clipped the apron at the same time, and it really unloaded the car real quickly, right? You see it start to come around, and finally he's able to drive it down on the apron, which he really did a good job keeping it off the wall. Unfortunately, he didn't take the green, so depending upon what NASCAR is going to allow him to do, but I believe he will come back here and put forward.
And we are under caution during qualifying, so to speak, because Kevin LePage has just hit the wall hard in between turns 3 and 4, attempting to start his 189th NASCAR Busch Series race. Let's take a look at what happened, Jeff.
He's coming in the back straightaway, entering turn 3. He kind of arcs it off down in the corner. The back end just comes around on a 72 Chevrolet up into the outside wall, hits that safer barrier, but a lot of damage to the 72 car of Kevin LePage, but thank goodness for those safer barriers.
He'll start 22nd in the 600 on Sunday. Again, take a look. You see his hands cut the wheel down.
Steve, we keep talking about how temperamental Charlotte can be, and this is one of the characteristics. It's so greasy, the track gets real warm, and all of a sudden you just don't have the grip that you were expecting. And when you're carrying that kind of speed, it'll get away from you in a heartbeat.
Here we are in real time, Jeff.
Steve, that pretty much tells the tale. I mean, that was a hard lick. But yet we saw Kevin LePage handing the safety workers his head and neck restraint along with his helmet and getting out on his own power. So big.
Other open wheel racer, J.J. Yaley.
Easy, J.J. Whoa, and Way gets away from him right there. Hang it. Sorry about that, Steve. I could just see it coming. The car was starting to get out away from him just a little bit.
Yeah, and I heard it, and that's almost in the same exact spot as Kevin LePage lost it down there in between 3 and 4.
See crew members right now running toward the garage area to meet JJ, and he's, again, one of those young drivers that's going through that learning curve. And unfortunately, part of that learning curve has to come through Charlotte and turn 3 and 4.
2003 USAC Triple Crown winner. Only the second time that's been accomplished. I believe the first time was by Tony Stewart.
Joe Gibbs is number 18. Is pretty heavy damage on it. And he'll have to, as he gets down in the corner, again, the car just kind of gets away from him.
Identical to Kevin LePage. Identical. Hits it almost the same exact spot. And again, thank goodness for the safer barriers. Dissipating that energy as Yaley backs his Chevrolet into the wall.
I know it's kind of hard to see from these angles, but several drivers have talked about Charlotte is not the smoothest racetrack on the circuit either. And over in 3 and 4, there are some bumps there that help to create some of the problems that drivers face whenever the car gets away from them like it's doing today.
All right, Jeff, let's look at it in real time, and you'll get an idea just how quick this car snaps. Boy, she was up in the fence in a hurry.
I mean, the sound alone just gives you cold chills whenever a car gets around like that. So you can imagine he's inside the car and the car starts to get away from him. He is doing everything he can to keep it off the wall.
For starts. Some guys take off in first gear.
Whoa, we got a car. I believe that might be Bobby Labonte. No, that would be J.J. Yaley in the 18 car. Joe Gibbs' car.
Boy, now here comes. Oh, man. Tony Raines piles in, and Jason Schuler.
What was up with that? Boy, I tell you, that's a hard lick for JJ. That's right in the driver's door. Tony Raines got hit in the rear by this this car right here and drove him into JJ's car.
That's Jason Schuler in the 10. J.J. Yaley moving around in the car as the rescue workers get there quickly.
And boy, you can see the damage. I mean, look at all the, here's the roll bars right in here, and the sheet metal all pushed in around it. Hate to see it get hit in the door, but you got to realize something too. He drives those sprint cars, and he's used to getting a few hard licks every now and then.
Darrell, I think as JJ went off into turn 1 and 2, going to see him right here. Car just took off with him.
Takes up out of the groove. Now he's, you know, everybody's going to get by here. He's staying up next to the wall, up next to the wall. Car's probably going to come to a slide down the hill, and bam. That number 10 car of Jason Schuler got into the back of Tony Raines. Raines was slowing down. Schuler what?
That was a hard lick right there.
And that happens 8 seconds after Yaley's initial crash. That's a long time. From Michael Waltrip.
There you see JJ up the hill. Car just stepped out on him. We saw him have a problem at Las Vegas. Remember when he raced there? He couldn't get going on the start of the race. Car wasn't very comfortable for him. Hadn't had a lot of experience in traffic like this.
Yaley crashes. Jason Schuler.
This has got to be
Boyer hard into the outside wall, turn 4. Now he's going to slide down the racetrack, but fortunately it looks like everyone will get by.
But I mean, as soon as I pick up that throttle, I'm shoving the nose.
The leader had just completed 31 laps as the caution comes out for Clint Boyer at turn 4, the 2002 NASCAR Weekly Racing Series champion by Dodge. 10 wins, 18 top 10s, and 19 starts. Finished second in his ARCA debut at Nashville, and now he's come into trouble here. Matt?
Now, as we're talking about Kyle Busch leading, Martin Truex Jr. came on the radio and said, guys, I've got a right front tire going down. I believe it's the right front. Bono and the guys are ready to try to change those tires and make sure that that tire is indeed okay.
I definitely think that was a timely caution for a lot of cars with 32 laps into this run, and we will probably see some pit stops.
All by himself, just like Joe Nemechek earlier, except not the same result that Joe had. Boy, this plays hard on rookies, isn't it, Larry?
Yes, it is. And when you hit here, you hit a ton.
First J.J. Yaley and now Clint Boyer.
You know, we have been riding with him earlier. You could hear him having to play with the throttle off the corner, so that car was just continuing to lose grip. That is a hard lick.
Saw him move around as the car bounced down onto the flat from the banking, looking for oncoming traffic. And this will take the number 21 Childress team from the points lead, the owner points lead.
I can't tell you how many things go through your mind.
Caution is out.
Two cars have spun down to the bottom of the racetrack, out of view there. Casey Atwood is one, and the other is Billy Parker.
It looked like the same thing that's happened over there in turn 1 and 2 on a couple of other occasions. Like with J.J. Yaley, the car just gets up out of the groove, and all you can do to keep from spinning out is just stop the car, and then they start stacking up behind you.
That's the Rusty Wallace-owned car with Catfish Parker aboard. He was sideways, and Casey Atwood got into it as well. Let's look.
Almost looks like he got down on the apron. In fact, got his left wheels too low. Almost got down on the apron, but doesn't look like any harm.
Atwood had to spin to miss him. Clint Boyer has been released from the care center. Tracy Hines spins, and he is collected by Kane.
And the 17, I think, was in front of the 38.
It'll depend on when
25.
NASCAR rules the moment of caution.
Remember, the field is frozen right here.
No, I am pretty sure.
And lap 196, and we just completed 195. 196 is the red flag lap number. With 4 to go, we're 1 lap away from that.
Casey Kane, tough day. He could not avoid a spinning Tracy Hines.
Yeah, Kane's got off to a great start, but the last couple of weeks have not been kind to him.
Now we will check. NASCAR will check as to when the moment of caution was, look at scoring at that instant, and see who is the leader. Also, we are